presents Major League Baseball Magazine. This week's cover story, the first National Wiffleball Championship. Just how important is it?
Wiffleball comes before family, friends, job, anything.
We'll go to the source of Tommy Lasorda's wager out winning Pittsburgh Paint Steelers. It's just another house in a pleasant street in Hanover, Massachusetts, until you reach the backyard. For there sits a miniature Fenway Park, home of the World Wiffleball Association's first national championship.
The World Wiffleball Association was founded in 1977. At that time, it was just a local league format. This year, we hosted 32 teams in the Massachusetts State Championship Tournament. The first national tournament is also a 32-team tournament.
There aren't any million-dollar contracts for wiffleball stars. Not yet.
I'm an accountant in my real life. I work in a warehouse. I'm a forklift driver.
I'm bartender over at Amelia's in Marina Bay in Quincy.
I'm a manager of a condominium complex.
I'm a mortgage broker.
I sell paper to printers. I'm a produce clerk / struggling actor. So wiffleball is my life.
The tournament allows a designated hitter, but only 2 men in the field, just like you played it as a kid.
The game is played basically with 2 men, a pitcher and a fielder. You're allowed a roster of 5 players, so I thought it was only fair that we added a 3rd man into the lineup that would create a lineup of 3 and allow a 3rd man to participate. The game, however, has not changed over the original pitcher and fielder format.
Wiffleball ground rules are the product of a fertile sandlot imagination.
Basically, a single in this game. We've got 2 cones, 45 feet down the lines, right field line, left field line. And we've got a dirt line. If the ball touches the grass on the other side of the line, it's an automatic single because all the runners are imaginary. Any ball that's hit off the shed or any of the green walls is a double. And the only triple is the ball up on this green roof. If it goes up onto the roof to the right of the flagpole and rolls back down, it's a triple. And of course, anything hit over any of the walls or over the house is a home run.
But home runs are rare. For as any wiffle whiz will tell you, pitching is the key.
It's all pitching. 20 strikeouts in the game is not uncommon. You just have to look for a spot and just hope it's there and hit it. It's impossible to really follow the ball, move so much.
This is much tougher than umping any baseball game. I'd love to see a professional big-time umpire come in here, and I'm sure he'd say the same thing. The ball moves so incredibly, and it comes in so fast sometimes that it's really difficult.
The speed of the game makes umpiring a spectator sport.
It is still the backyard game, no matter what anybody says. As professional as we try to make it, if I have trouble with a call, I can stop the game and ask a spectator who I thought, might have seen it and get a judgment call, which helps. I've had to do that quite a bit.
And as if the pitcher needed any help, doctoring the wiffle ball is good medicine.
Scuffing the ball is a very important part of this game. You can get the ball to break sharper, it sink more, break in or out more, depending on the batter.
Of course, throwing the wiffle ball is not what the doctor ordered.
There's no way down at all to the ball, so you're continually snapping your elbow. Virtually everybody who throws hard here is hurting after a ball game. I'm going to throw so hard today that I'm going to be going directly to South Shore Hospital after this.
But just where does the wiffle ball come from? Ferroli sought its plastic roots.
This year I took a trip to Shelton, Connecticut to the Wiffle Company. I wanted to get a ball right off the injector mold, and I was able to do that, which I thought was interesting.
Shelton is the home of wiffle ball today, but it was born in 1953 in the backyard of a home in Fairfield, Connecticut, by a father seeking to please his kids.
Well,
wiffle ball came about, basically it's a little game that we were playing with a perforated plastic ball in the backyard. It was a little tiny golf ball with holes in it that I probably found in my father's golf bag. And my father was starting to get a little bit irritated, but at the same time, he was a little bit mystified as to what would keep two rotten kids busy for so long. And one day he came home with a bunch of plastic half balls. And his thought was to take a little bit of weight off of the one-sided ball, glue it to another half that didn't have any holes in it, and possibly we'd get a ball that would curve a little bit better than the one we were using.
Dad was the genius, but credit for the name goes to the kids.
Well, in our neighborhood, when you missed a pitch, you whiffed. Or if you struck out, you whiffed. And because it was a good competitive game between a couple of guys, and if the pitcher was stuffed most of the time, the batter was whiffing or striking out. And that's how the name stuck.
Broomsticks soon gave way to official wooden bats, but in the mid-'60s, the change was made to plastic.
My grandfather had asked my dad when they first decided to put out the plastic bat, what color should we make it? Because the virgin plastic itself is like a transparent. So my dad thought for a minute and he said to him, we'll make them yellow. And my grandfather asked, well, why yellow? What's with yellow? And he said, well, that's the color they always use in the comic books.
To make the wiffle bats and balls, nary a tree is timbered and no cows give up their hides.
The balls are made out of polyethylene, and the plastic is melted down and then under pressure injected into a mold where the ball halves remain for a cooling period. The mold opens up and the finished half is ejected from the mold. That process is done, it goes to a secondary operation where the two halves of the balls are sealed together using heat. And that's probably the most important stage of the ball, so that the seal on the ball is good and it won't break apart. And we have a number of quality control checks during the life of the product so that we try to ensure that everything that gets shipped from here is of first-class quality.
The Mullaneys understand that if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
What we tried to do is just continue to make a product at the lowest possible unit price that's going to have the best quality going. And it'll be the same year after year after year.
But what is it about wiffle ball that brings these kids to Hanover?
It's just competition. You know, you're able to, you always want to compete, you always want to win, and this is just another place where you can do it.
The 32-team tournament begins with the Hanover Pirates, the favorites.
My team's defending mass champions for the last 3 years, so most of these teams are here with some sort of an idea that, you know, they want to play me. We're the most hated club here. Imagine that. That's largely attributed to you. Yeah, I know.
But not everyone thinks the hated Pirates will prevail.
Well, I like the J. Murphy Orioles, but the Pirates are really good. But I think the J. Murphy will.
The Pirates and the Orioles do meet in the final, trading grand slams early on. The Pirates hold an 11-8 lead with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th, but a 3-run double ties the game. Then, a 2-run homer. The first National Wiffle Ball Championship belongs to the J. Murphy Orioles, a childhood dream come true.
Just the happiest person in the world right now. Brothers that wanted to do it, we wanted to do this. We've been playing wiffle ball for our whole life, and this is just the height of everything.